Second. All right, recording.
Cool. Hi, everybody. My name is Carmen Boley. I'm a silver with Young Living. I'm kind of new to the team. We are one of the legs that was brought in under Amanda when she moved up in the organization. And so she's part of our upline now. So we're all crossline friends to each other. So it's been really amazing getting connected with her and you guys and as a team and everything. It's been really fun. It's really cool to see the traditions that other teams have and kind of graft those into your own. And it's been really good. So if you don't have an oil on yet, go and grab one. I'm using my Abundance. Hello. Thanks for joining. So if you don't have an oil yet, go grab one. It doesn't really matter which one it is. It's just good to raise our frequency. What do you have, Mom?
Curanya.
Curanya. Okay. So I'm Carmen Boley. I'm a silver. This is Tammy Boley. She's my mother and my gold in Young Living. And we kind of travel and teach together. And yeah, that's pretty much us. We travel and we teach. And we are homebodies. We're kind of joking around that. We are either at home or we are adventuring, and there's nothing in between. So we're either snuggled in or we're out doing something crazy. There's no just like day-to-day life stuff happening here. It's one or the other. So
you want to tell about the retreat that we're getting ready to do?
Yeah, sure. So we have scheduled we call it a Good Vibes retreat. We're focusing on raising your frequency and just connecting and emotional transformations and those kinds of things, which is kind of cool since we're doing the freedom transformation as well right now. So that's going to be in Utah before convention, which is going to be, let's see, July 11th through 15th are the dates. So if any of you want to take a trip out with some ladies to Utah and get your good vibes going up in the mountains, let us know and we'll send you an invite. It's going to be really fun. So that's what we're doing. We like to just jet off on an adventure, and we literally decided to do this retreat in like 24 hours. I was house hunting for convention because we like to get a whole house, and I was looking and I saw this amazing mansion in the mountains with an indoor pool, and I was like, oh, well, this is nothing like what I was looking for, but this looks cool. So I just saved it. And then that one over there, Tammy, she saw it and was like, we could do a retreat. We should absolutely jump on this. And we're like, okay. So there you go. That's us. We'll just have an idea and we just run with it. So it's kind of fun. We are adventurers, and we're either homebody, straight up like pajama days all day, or we're doing something crazy, something amazing, something adventuring. It's very odd, but that's us.
I'm pretty much always working in either location.
Pretty much. Yes. We need to do better about that, taking our breaks.
Yeah.
So that's us. That's our story. We love to travel with Young Living. We love to travel in general, always have. And I just remember always growing up, we were always traveling and doing some sort of family vacation or something. Mom was always thinking of clever things for us to do, whether it was a trip to Disney World or just getting in the van, the old Astro van, and heading off to the mountains. It was always something. And I really value those trips because when you're a kid and you get to grow up adventuring and seeing new places that you've never seen before, going to the mountains and going to the beach, and it really expands your horizons. And to this day, I still love to travel. So
I was really amazed to learn that Amanda is going on her first cruise. They're just leaving on their first cruise. You went on your first cruise when you were
15.
I was going to say 14 or 15.
15.
So that's pretty amazing.
That's so funny. Yeah.
I know.
So we've always been up for an adventure. Like if people are like, hey, we're going to spring break to visit some family down there. Want to come with? Yeah. We've got like 3 days notice. Let's go. That's us. So if you have somewhere fun that you live and you're like, these girls need to come visit me and we'll do like a retreat or something or teach or just hang out, let us know. We're usually up for an adventure. So just when I was going over this class and kind of what the theme would be, I just really was thinking about that quote. It says, don't live the same year 75 times and call it a life. And I really love that because I'm a person who thrives on variety. I get really bored if everything is the same day after day. I'm an INFJ personality, if you know Myers-Briggs, which means that I don't have that S personality. I don't like the day-to-day minutia and those things. I like things to always be changing and fluid and just keep the variety really high. That's me. So I've always loved that quote ever since I first heard it. So first, real quick, for those of you who are just joining, Carmen Boley, Silver with Young Living, talking about travel adventures and free travel experiences with Young Living. If you have a question, go ahead and pop it in the chat or just unmute yourself and ask, and we'll do our best. So one of the things that I really love about Young Living is how many different opportunities we have to travel. And if you're the type of person who doesn't like to travel very much, just here and there, that's fine. Young Living doesn't force you to travel. It's not something that's ever required or that it has to be part of your life, but it is an opportunity. And I think it's important even for people who aren't super adventurous and don't love to travel all the time, like me, to still go out occasionally and go on these things. And Young Living makes it really easy to get a lot of these adventures. So if you're like me and you like those adventures, this is going to be a cool class. We're going to share a lot of cool ideas beyond just the retreats and things like that. So stay tuned. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start sharing because I like to have little visuals and things. So I'm going to pop in and I'm going to share some pictures with you guys. Now, these are not me, but I wanted to go ahead and share just some of the Flickr photos from the Young Living retreats, just to give you guys some really high quality photos showing like what this is all about. And I've been to some of these things as well, so I'll talk about that. But Silver Retreat is really like the pinnacle first step of the free experiences and retreats and adventures and travel that Young Living offers. Silver Retreat and all of the recognition retreats are something that you earn the very first time that you hit silver rank or above for 3 months in a row. So you achieve it every month, 3 months in a row. And some people ask, okay, well, what if I make it 2 months and then I miss that third month? Do I never get to go on it then? Not at all. Young Living is super generous with these. There's not like a really high go pace with them. They really work with you. So it took me like 1 to 2 years to qualify for Silver Retreat after I first hit silver. I would have 1 month on, a few months off silver, and then they got in this weird cycle where it was 2 months silver, 1 month not. 2 months silver, 1 month not. And I did that for a very long time. So I was very excited. I felt kind of like that picture right there. When I first, can you guys see the picture? It's not actually showing me, it's highlighted.
No, I can't see it.
Okay, so right now it's just showing you guys the folder. Let's see. Okay, so here's what I will have to do. I'm going to stop the share, go back to share. There you go. Now you should be able to see it.
Awesome.
So this is the quintessential Silver Retreat farm photo. Anytime you go to one of the Young Living farms, especially the Mona farm in Utah, you have to take this picture. It's the jumping field picture. Everybody does it. Everybody makes it their profile picture. It is currently my profile picture, so you can go look that up for friends on Facebook, or if you see me in one of the Facebook groups. It is the best. It's so much fun to go out there and take these pictures. And I do this thing that I hashtag it. It's crazy. I say selfies with plants, and I go and I get in there with all of the plants, and then I take a little picture with the plants between me and the camera. So that's always fun. You have to take selfies with plants, and you have to take your field jumping picture because it's just the best. So I love it. Some people do it in groups and some people do it by themselves, but it's really, really fun. So I love the Silver Retreat experience. It was really deep and meaningful to me. Like I said, it took me a really long time to finally get to those 3 months in a row for the very first time. And so it meant a lot to me when I finally did earn it. And whenever you go on a retreat, it's really important that you first schedule your own transportation. If you're flying in, don't let Young Living book your flight. You book your own flight. And here's why. first of all, you can make sure that you like the layover, you like the schedule, you're not traveling for like 12 hours. You can do it really nice. Second of all, you can give yourself extra time. And that's exactly what I did. I was on a tight budget for Silver Retreat, but since they were paying for everything else, I just decided that I was going to go in and I was going to give myself one extra day in the mountains. So I knew of how many of you have been to the Crater? If you've been to the Crater, either unmute yourself and say me, or go ahead and put it in the chat box. So I'm going to stop sharing that picture now. So if you've been to the Crater, let me know.
I've been.
Robin, you've not done the jumping picture? You have to do the jumping picture. It's so much fun. It's crazy. You'll get like 20 where you're like, you know, all ridiculous looking. And then you'll finally be like one that you're like, okay, that one works. You have to do it next time. But the Crater is a really, really fun thing that you can do, especially when you go to the Utah Beauty School, the Zermatt Beauty School in the winter that Young Living always puts on. The Crater is something that's right across the street from the Zermatt Resort where they host the beauty school. So it's a hot mineral springs that is underground, but not in a creepy cave kind of way. I don't do that, not at all. But it's just this thing where you walk inside and it's this giant dome that comes up above the ground and it's open on top and it's just this giant pool basically in the ground. And it's amazing. It's so much fun. And I saw that before Silver Retreat and I really wanted to go. And for those of you who know, there's Salt Lake City and then there's the mountain range. And then over here is Park City and Midway and all of that. And that's where the Crater is. And so I was like, I'm doing it. I rented a car. I posted in Silver Retreat because there's always a Facebook group whenever a retreat happens so that you can coordinate and meet people and everything. And I was the only person from our entire team who had earned Silver Retreat that year. And so I was going by myself. And I just said, listen, you guys, I'm going a day early. I'm going to stay the night at the Zermatt Resort. And I'm going to go to the Crater that night and again the next morning. Who's with me? And so a bunch of ladies were like, oh my gosh, that sounds so fun. Let's do it. And so it's really cool. We all met up the day that Silver Retreat started. We all met up in, it was a very interesting day. We all met up there at a certain time that we had scheduled for our Crater visit. And we all just hung out. We got in the water. We talked. Where are you from? How long did it take you to get to Silver? All that kind of stuff. And it was really cool to make connections. And some of those ladies I'm still Facebook friends with today, and we work on projects together and things like that. So it's a really great way to connect, is to just go out there and just schedule something fun, something that nobody else is doing, just because, you know, you want to enhance the experience, make it even more fun, do something different. So it's really fun. So if you're going out there, make sure that you, whoever you are with that cat, that is hilarious. Your cat is definitely feeling the good vibes and wants to be on this video with us. So it's definitely fun. Just schedule something different and just make it an even wider experience than Young Living provides. As far as what Young Living provides, it's amazing. I'm going to be honest. When I got to my hotel room, I was one of the people who ended up, because they have to rent out several hotels, right? I was one of the people who ended up at the fanciest hotel. I think it's called the Grand American. And I walked in to my foyer and I was like, what? I opened that door and it wasn't a hotel room. It was a full-on apartment. I had an entire foyer, a living room, a giant bedroom, and a giant bathroom that was all marble. And I kid you not, I walked into that bathroom and I started crying because I had that entire beautiful place all to myself. And I felt absolutely honored and pampered and celebrated. And I'm going to tell you, I cried all the way, bringing all my stuff into the bedroom. I cried while I was in the shower, just touching the marble walls. I was like, this is so nice. It was ridiculous. But I had total emotional release because it took me so long to get there. And when I finally got there and was treated so well and had such a fun time, it meant so much to me. So some other things that you can do while you're at Silver Retreat. Oh, here, I have to get in the hang of this. Let me switch these out. So one of the things that you do when you go to convention or to Silver Retreat, you have these moments in the hallways where you just connect with people and you're taking pictures for them, or you're getting all in a group and taking pictures together. So it's a really fun time to connect with people, is when you're walking around or you're going in and out of workshops and things like that, because they do provide a ton of training when you're on the retreats. And it's just such a cool time to connect and really minister to the other women and men, mostly women. I mean, come on, mostly women in Young Living. But it's a really great time to do that. And I made connections there, people that I'm still friends with on Facebook, people that I still think of. Actually, let me go grab something. On my oil shelf, I still have this from Silver Retreat. I didn't even think of it till just now. But it's this tiny little card that one of the women who was sitting behind me in one of the workshops gave me. They had this moment where they were like, okay, well, talk to everybody and, reconnect. I hope you guys can actually see that. I didn't actually check. So, in case you couldn't see it before. So, it's this tiny little Believe card. And we just got to talking about, they had a vision goals setting kind of moment. And we were working on different things, and we just got to talking about, who we are as women in Christ. And it was really amazing. And I really got to minister to them with some things that God had been talking to me about. And it was a really cool moment of connection. And so she was like, I want you to have this. And Believe ended up being my oil of the year last year, 2018. And so I always see this on my oil shelf. I keep it there, and it's always just a good reminder. But that's one of my little souvenirs from Silver Retreat. So you never know what connections you'll make. To me, that's a really special thing that the retreats and all of the travel and everything with Young Living offers. So you always have to go and get like the different ninja slushies and things like that. Visit the farm. It's so amazing to go out and see all of the different farms. And one cool thing that you can do is get involved with the farm and the planting and things that they do. I love that. So let me pull this up. I don't know if you guys can see that. So when you go to the farms, you can actually get involved with the plantings. You can help with the seedlings and getting the starters done. Or sometimes, depending on what time of year it is, you can actually go out there and plant them. So I remember one year when I planted yarrow, and I think of that all the time. What bottle of oil did my yarrow plant end up in? So I think about that sometimes. So it's really cool because you can get hands-on and you get so much training on the farms. They spoil you with oils. I remember when I was on the farm and juniper had been out of stock, and juniper was actually an oil that was very important to us right around that time. And it had been out of stock for so long. And I just remember sitting there and they were like, we got this just for you guys. And they whipped out a bunch of 15 mil juniper bottles, and I was like, and everybody's freaking out, and it was very fun. So they really do spoil you and treat you so well on these events. So that's Silver Retreat. You go to Salt Lake City and you visit the Mona farm. And that's one of the things they always do at the retreats, is share the farm experience with you, because that's really the heart of Young Living, right? It's all about the farms, and it's all about the people. And those are really the core tenets of Young Living. It's what sets us apart. So I love that. So silver is free for you when you earn it. 3 months in a row is silver. You get it, and then they have just one a year. And whatever time you qualify for, you just end up going to the next retreat, which is in the fall. So if you want to, you can bring a guest. Everything for you is free. The airfare, food, everything. They cover it, and they feed you well. But if you want to bring a guest, you can for just $500 for all of that. You have to cover their airfare or however you're getting there separately. But $500 is not bad for all of those days in Salt Lake and all the food and everything like that. It's a really good deal. So that is a feature that they offer. Now then there's Gold Retreat, which takes place in Spokane, Washington. And you go to St. Mary's Farm, Idaho. Now, St. Mary's is where everything started. That was Gary's first farm in 1993. Robin says $500, but then you get a 300 credit when you share a room. Very nice. They didn't do that when I was there. I didn't have anybody to share with, but it's good to know. Okay, so you can also, when you go to Gold Retreat, you can go to the Highland Flats Farm, which is so much fun. That's where a bunch of our very, very special and lovely tree oils come from. Not this one, but I have my Northern Lights Black Spruce right here. Who else got this free this month? So happy. Love those tree oils. The really cool thing about the tree oils is that if you talk to a bunch of the diamonds and above, one of their favorite oils is usually a tree oil, which is very interesting because they have very high frequency, they're very uplifting, and they help to change your mindset. So if you're struggling with any of those things or you want to be a diamond, go ahead and reach for your tree oils like spruce and fir and sacred mountain. I cannot tell you how many times a diamond has been like, oh, my favorite oil? And it's one of those three so often. So I think that's very telling and interesting. So the Gold Retreat is so much fun. The cool thing is they don't just take you to the farms, they always share an experience with you, which is just beyond fun. So when you go to Gold Retreat, one of the things you can do is go whitewater rafting, which we did. My mom qualified for Gold Retreat and she took me along as her guest, and it was amazingly fun. I had never been rafting before, and it sounds terrifying, whitewater rafting, but it wasn't bad at all. There's little like bumpy places. It wasn't bad. It was so much fun, and I discovered that I loved rafting and kayaking and all of that down the river. So that's definitely something that after this, it was a new experience that I now have on my bucket list to do more often because it was so much fun. Danielle took you, so you got to go on Gold Retreat too, Robin. That's so exciting. Twice! Oh, okay, she's clarifying. So Gold Retreat.
I've been twice too.
Yeah. So my mother, Gold, has been to Silver Retreat twice, Gold Retreat twice, and Platinum Retreat once. So always make friends, exactly, with other young living people, because you never know when someone's like, my spouse can't come, I can't, choose someone from my young living team because it would be like a favoritism thing. So I've got to take somebody else, and they'll just take their young living buddy with them. It's awesome.
Always make sure your passport is current.
Always. Yes. Be ready for travel at any minute.
That's right.
Silver twice. That's so fun, Robin. So when you go to Gold Retreat, you always have to get the peanut brittle. Trust me. I don't even like peanut brittle. You have to get the peanut brittle when you go to Gold Retreat. It's fantastic and amazing, and you will buy boxes and boxes to bring home with you. It's something that they offer at the hotel. So, so they take you to St. Mary's. You can also schedule an extra trip to the Highland Flats Farm, which is not too far away. So that's really fun that you can get to do two at once. And now we have that peppermint farm in Washington. So I don't know how far that is away, but that might be something they're working into future retreats now, or something that you can just make an extra trip to go and see. And the Northern Lights Farm is only like 8 to 10 hours drive north of there. So, I mean, why not? Just head up into Canada. So, like we said, always have your passport ready. So there's a lot of farms right around there, and you can really go and get a really cool experience. You can take the time and travel around. So just kind of make it your own. You don't just have to go just for the time of retreat that they have set. You can make it your own trip as well, which we love to do. So then there's Platinum Retreat, which is in Guayaquil, Ecuador. Amazing. My mom went on this and just had so much fun. She's a horticulture person. She loves to learn about it. So you can go out there and really get the experience. You can visit the worm farm and don't go and nibble on any of the plants in the field, or sniff them and like get the oils on your fingers, because they use the worm poop water to water the fields in their sprinkler system. So you don't want to be out in the field when the sprinklers come on. These are not sprinklers that you run through and take pictures. You run away from the sprinklers at the Ecuador farm when they start. But it's so amazing because you can see the whole system that they have set up there. They have goats. Let me share this one. I believe this is a lang-a-lang.
It is.
So you can go and you can help with picking the ylang-ylang blossoms. Oh, so cool. You can roll around in the ocotea leaves, which I have been told smells a lot like pipe tobacco.
Oh, it's amazing.
Don't know about that, but
it's like cinnamon.
Experience that one.
It smells like cinnamon pipe tobacco. It is absolutely glorious.
Yes. So that's something that you can do. But it's really cool when you're on the farm. You can have essential oil IVs done. You can get raindrops. You can have their chocolate beauty masks and things like that. You can do all kinds of things. They have hammocks. You can go four-wheeling out in the farm, everything. But one thing I wanted to show, which I think is hilarious, is that they have this whole ecosystem that Gary set up where they have goats and they milk the goats and they use that in products and for food and things like that. And then that becomes as well fertilizer. And then they have this whole worm farm where they refresh the dirt with the worms because, you know, worm poo is a good fertilizer for dirt. It's very good. And they eat, you know, all that stuff. What are you trying to say, Mom?
It's compost.
Compost, yes.
So the worms compost all of the materials on the farm that would otherwise go to waste. They just put them in the bins, basically, that Gary designed. And then they put the worms in there, and the worms go to work, and they create free compost to go back into the fields to fertilize the plants. And then they fertilize the goat droppings also as part of the compost. And then that water that runs over the worm beds goes into a cistern that Gary designed, and then that's how they water the plants. So it's really an ingenious process, I have to say.
Yep.
I was completely enamored with Gary all over again when I was there, just because of that. Yes, hearts in the eyes.
Yep. So you can tell that that is definitely her passion. She loves the horticulture side of everything. She loves seeing how the farm functions and seeing how they put that level of excellence into the farm and that just ingenious level of utilizing everything at hand and creating a top-notch farm without any petrochemicals or pesticides or anything like that. In fact, if you go out there, you have to be kind of careful because you may be driving along that dirt road through one of the fields and you'll see iguanas shooting across, or you'll see the iguanas up in the trees out there in the fields because those iguanas live out there full time. Because they don't drive them away, those iguanas then are pest control for the fields. So they have just so much wisdom that you can see in that farm there.
Yep.
Do they use goats for brush management? That's a good question.
Yeah.
I would assume that they do. Yes, they do.
They do. And then they also use them for providing food for the Young Living Academy, which is just down the road from the location. So there's the clinic, the Nova Vita spa is actually on the property of the Ecuador farm. And so they use that for food there because they have a little kind of a restaurant place for the people who are staying at the spa. And then the workers who work on the farm, and then they take the milk down to the school, and then the ladies at the school use it for the cooking. They use it to make cheese, all kinds of things. So we actually had some goat cheese when we were there that was from the goats from the farm. So, and it proves going to a place like this and seeing that whole process proves the integrity of Seed to Seal. Because you see every part of the process. The iguanas would not be living there if we were doing something outside of Seed to Seal, because they don't stay around for pesticides or herbicides or fungicides used on plants. They just leave. You know, it destroys the whole ecosystem. So seeing that large of a predator there feeding on, you know, the food chain like it should be, just proves that Seed to Seal process. And I just love that. That's why everybody needs to go to a farm. Mm-hmm. Everybody.
Yeah. The farm is the thing. When the farm day became an optional part of convention, I was like halfway horrified. I was like, no, everybody has to go to the farm. The farm is convention for me. If I could have 2 days of the farm and then just 2 days of the trainings, that's exactly what I would do. The farm is definitely the best part. And when you go, make sure you go and get the essential oil ice cream that they make on the farm. It's amazing. But anyways, for Platinum Retreat in Ecuador, that is another cool feature that they have, is the academy is right there. So you can really get involved, see where Young Living is giving back to the community. They have so many cool things that they do there. And you can really get involved if you want. You can meet the kids, you can hang out with them, maybe even get involved with the service project. They sometimes have those going on at the same time. So that's a really cool part of the Ecuador experience that you can do at Platinum Retreat. So then is Diamond Retreat, and Diamond Retreat is really interesting because they're always changing it up. It's like with all these other retreats, there's a certain farm that you go to and it's a certain time. But with Diamond Retreat, they're always changing it. So there's always a fancy dinner. They always have them in a super cool place. So this is a photo from the Seville, Spain Diamond Retreat that just happened. So they always take them to these incredible places. And I will admit that growing up, I have always loved The Count of Monte Cristo, the movie. It is just one of my favorites. And you would not believe how jealous I was. I'm going to admit to it. When I found out that for one of the Diamond Retreats a few years ago, they rented the castle from Count of Monte Cristo to do their fancy dinner. I was like, why am I not a diamond right now? Like, I want to be there so badly. Like, this is not okay. Like, I'm just hoping that by the time I get to diamond, they'll be like, yeah, it's about time to do that one again because Carmen wants to go. And, if the guys and everybody, the whole cast from Count of Monte Cristo came walking out during the fancy dinner, that's fine too, no big deal. But I just think it's so cool that they always are changing things up for Diamond and giving them a different experience. So one of the things that they did this time was they had everybody go hot air ballooning, and then they also had this really fun, like, fancy sports car fast zoom experience thing that you could do. So they're always changing things up and giving you new experiences, and I love that. Now, at Diamond, you qualify the same way for Diamond Retreat as you do all the others, but the cool thing is for Diamond Retreat is that once you're Diamond, you can go every year if you want to. The first year is completely free, like they always do for a retreat, but the years after that, you can qualify and go to any of them that you want. You just have to pay a certain percentage of the money. So it's based on how many months you've been qualified as Diamond and above. That's the same. They have a chart of like the percentage that they'll pay. But the door's always open. The other retreats you can't go back to unless you earn it that first time or are invited as somebody's guest. So you can always go to the farm. They're always changing up, like taking you to a certain distillery somewhere in the world or a new farm. We have those farms all over the world, you guys know. So I know for most of us, it's on our bucket list to visit every farm that Young Living has. Up until they started adding so many farms in the last year or two, I had been to every single farm in the continental US. And I was really proud of that. And then they went and added that peppermint farm in Washington. And I was like, okay, more on the list. I've got to go to some more now. But you're always getting that farm or distillery experience, always learning a part of Young Living and who we are as a company. And I love that they always include that, because keeping that focus on who we are is so important, because it's completely what sets us apart. So, and I forgot to say that when you go to Platinum Retreat, you are totally covered and free. You also have one guest that is totally covered and free as well. So Platinum is the first time that you can take somebody with you and it's just covered. And the same is true for Diamond. It's you and a guest. So you never know where you'll end up at Diamond Retreat. So I think the one before this was Australia, and then this time was Seville, Spain. So who knows where it'll be next time. It's so exciting. Okay, so those are the retreats. That's what most people think of when they think of free travel with Young Living and those types of experiences. This is definitely not the only way that you can get free travel with Young Living or travel with Young Living. So I'm going to share some of my other favorite ideas that people do, because I think it's so cool to see how other people make their adventuring come alive with Young Living. So something else that you can do is just talk about the income potential. With Young Living, we have such an amazing compensation plan. Young Living is super duper generous. So I wanted to just cover really quickly the most common income, so not the average, but the most common paycheck amount issued to Silvers in Young Living is $1,698 per month. Now, even if you take out tithe and a 300 PV ER order every month, that still leaves you with almost $1,200 a month in income. And if Young Living is not currently your primary source of income, if it's just additional income that you're bringing into the family, that means it's almost $1,200 a month that you get flex now. You get to choose what it goes to. The average family vacation for 4 people is $4,600. That's a lot of money. I know we've taken a lot of vacations that were less expensive than that, but that's what's considered average. So think about that. If you just multiply what's left from a Silver paycheck in just 4 months, you can fully fund cash flow a really amazing vacation for your family. It comes to just over $4,600 in 4 months. I just think that is so cool. And I know for myself that I've been able to travel a lot. I've been able to go to Canada twice to go to my roommate's wedding and then my best friend's wedding from college. And I was able to do that through Young Living. I had the money and I had the financial freedom, but also the time freedom. I was like, tell me the dates. I'm there. I'm coming to your wedding. And it was so cool to be able to take part in that experience, because so many other of our friends and college, buddies and everything, they weren't able to do that because of finances or because they couldn't get away from their 9-to-5 job. And so I feel really, really blessed that I'm able to do that and just drop of a hat, say, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. I'm in. And I know a lot of people my age and any age don't get to do that. So I love that. So just don't forget that you can really cash flow a lot of these experiences with the extra income from Young Living. One of our friends, who my mother has been friends with since Silver Retreat, she met there. Her name is Ashley Boyd, and they just cash flowed an entire school year for her and her husband and their 2 children to move to Hong Kong for the entire school year. And now they're back home. But it's just such an incredible experience that you can take your whole family, not just for a vacation, but just go, just move if you even want to. And that's what they did. They just went and they lived in Hong Kong for the entire school year. And her kids got to go to school there. They got to, meet tons of new people, experience an entirely different culture in a different part of the world, and have tons of really cool experiences. They got to go to the Philippines and go to resorts and places like that and do all kinds of amazing things as a family. So that's an option that we have in Young Living that is totally different. It's just cash flow it, just go and just live off of that for a little while.
And they were building their Young Living team while they were there. So win-win.
Yep, that's another option. So something else that Young Living is doing right now, it's an option on the table, is the Dream 1000 giveaway, which is a trip to Hawaii in addition to all of the other things. Now, I know a lot of us think, oh my gosh, like qualifying for a free trip, that's a lot. I don't know if I could do that. But the truth is that it actually doesn't take as much as we think. And these pictures, these are from a previous Hawaii trip that Young Living did as an incentive trip. So you can see that they treat you really well. You get to go to all kinds of awesome places. And I'll show you the other one. They even have all kinds of cool cultural experiences that you guys can do, or that we can do. Who's with me? I want to go to Hawaii.
Yes, please.
So they have like luau's and all kinds of fun things. So that's definitely something that you can do as a part of those trips. So Hawaii for the Dream 1000, that's happening right now. That's what the time that's left is June and July, all the way through the end of July. Now, I went and looked today just to check the numbers, and to be in the top 250, you need like 15 enrollments onto ER. And of course, you know, you can enroll people, you can reactivate people, you can have them do ER for the first time, and you can have rank ups. All of those things get you points in Dream 1000. So I'm just throwing out, you know, a combination to get there. But literally to be in the top, I actually think I only did the first 150. So that leaves like 100 more spots open. But today, to be qualified for that trip, you only need 15 enrollments onto ER. So think about that. That's very doable.
Yeah,
it is very doable.
That's amazing.
That's not a huge number. That's not beyond our ability to do. If we really want it and we really say, yes, that's my goal, I'm going to do it and push, it's absolutely possible. So if that's your heart, if you have been dreaming about a Hawaii trip, or if you want to take your family and get away, do it. Run for that, because that's something on the table right now that you can qualify for. So just keep an eye out for those things, because Young Living every so often will offer these extra incentive trips that you can do. So who knows, maybe this year you'll be going on one of the recognition retreats and one of the incentive trips or something. You never know. So there's a couple more things that I wanted to share. We're good on time. So like we said before, our friend, they didn't go on a vacation to Hong Kong. They just moved to Hong Kong. So that's something else that you can absolutely do. You can just move to wherever it is. I mean, have you always wanted to visit Italy? Just move there for a while. That's something you can absolutely do with Young Living. So there's this guy in Young Living who's been teaching for a very long time. His mother is Marcella von Harding, who is a Royal Crown Diamond. She's been in Young Living basically since the very beginning. And so her kids grew up in Young Living. So one of her kids is Dallas Harding, and he is currently, that's him, he is currently a Crown Diamond in Young Living. Now, what he did to get there is really interesting. He was not making as much progress as he wanted to where he was. So he upped and moved to Europe and just lived there and made it his goal to grow past Diamond all the way into Crown Diamond. And now he's back in the States. But that's what he did. He just decided that he was going to go somewhere. He was going to dig in deep to the community, to the culture, and he was just going to grow his team. And that was his one focus, was that he was just going to be in that space. So you can absolutely do that. Have you always wanted to live in Ireland or something? Move to Ireland and grow your business. Why not? I just think that's such an incredible thing to do. So you can even move around in the States and have that as a goal. Live for 3, 6 months or a year, 2 years in a certain location, build up a new team there, a new leg for your Young Living group, and then move to another place or just move back home. It's absolutely something you can do if you like that, if you want adventure or want to experience new places. That's a really easy way to do it, because you're not having to cash flow a vacation. You just move your life somewhere else for a little while. And a lot of people do that, and it's really cool. Now, oh, and by the way, the average monthly income for a Crown Diamond like Dallas is $75,000 per month. Pretty amazing. So he just gets to do whatever he wants. Oh, I had another picture. So you can see him here at one of his teaching engagements that he had in Europe. So if you go to Europe, they will probably know Dallas Harding there, which I've always just admired. I think that's so cool to just, you know what, because he's not married, or at least he wasn't at the time, and he was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go, just pack up and move. And I think that's just such an amazing thing to do. So then the last idea, and probably one of my very favorites, if I'm being honest, is something that there is a Facebook group for, and I will share the link with you guys in the Diamond Makers Facebook group. After this is over, I'll post it in the comments of the link share for this. So here we go. There's an entire group for this, and it is Young Living Full-Time RVers. Isn't that cool? There are people who live full-time in RVs and either just do that because they want to see America and travel, or because they want to build their business. So you can do that either way. So you can just hit the road. This is a really cool thing because it has so many options. You can sell your house and put that money towards being debt-free if you're a Dave Ramsey person. Or you can rent your house out and use that income to pay your mortgage early or just cash flow something if you're mortgage free. There's so many different options. You can travel and with your kids and give them new experiences. Now, I was homeschooled the whole way through, so this is definitely something that would have been easy for us to do. Everything is a learning opportunity. So for us, it would have made total sense to just hit the road and, you know, learn as you go. That's a really cool option. Or if you don't have kids that are that school age or something like that, you can just hit the road and just do all those things that you've been wanting to do. Visit the places that you've been wanting to see. And I love in the Facebook group because they're always sharing different things. But I'll show you guys this. This is something that was just found on social media, but you can see there's a little diffuser over there. We recognize that one. That's our old little dewdrop. So I just think it's so cool that people will just pack their life up and just go. And you can just visit all those places in the US that you've been wanting to see and meet tons of new people, so many new people, get involved in different cultures. And you can go as fast or as slow as you want. You can just go to a new place and invest there for 3 to 6 months, or you can just go every week or 2 weeks, as often or as slow as you want it to be. But I just think that's really cool because that's one way to travel, and it really brings down your expenses because RVing is not an expensive way to live. It's very inexpensive. So there are so many options there. And so if you guys went in that Facebook group, Young Living Full-Time RVers, you can probably find it if you just do a search on Facebook, but I'll share the link into the Facebook group. So I just love that. The beauty is that you can make these things your own. You can take these ideas and run with it and create a whole new idea and way of living and traveling with Young Living. So I just think that these are the best things ever. I love playing with ideas of different things in my mind of traveling and things like that. But if you want, go ahead and unmute yourself and just share some of your favorite Young Living experiences. If you've been on a retreat, share about, what was meaningful for you, Robin, going to Silver Retreat twice, Okay, guys, go ahead and start sharing.
Well, I like to talk too, so I just remember being, like you said, you walk in there, and I probably get some of my trips mixed up, but my daughter Danielle's on here, and it was the classiest thing ever. And the brass, we stayed in the old, I don't know, Hilton or Marriott or something, but so it was blended between some of the cultural dated brass fixtures and stuff with the new. And I remember Danielle and I don't like housekeeping coming in my room. I just am like that. But then we met one of our Crossline friends, and she's like, "Oh, you're missing out on the chocolate-covered strawberries." So we were missing out on the daily chocolate-covered strawberries that would have been left on our pillow. And it set a bar for me that I don't want to have to stay in the cheapest hotel anymore. I wish that I could stay like that all the time. It was just really special, and you felt, until you can experience how they treat you, you're just royalty. Mm-hmm. Oh, Danielle said it was the Grand America we stayed at.
Yep.
So is that the one you said you stayed at, Carmen?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was amazing.
It was just incredible. Incredible.
That bathroom made me cry. Okay, so who else has an experience with traveling with Young Living or a retreat? We want to hear.
Make Danielle talk.
Yes. Sorry. My mother turned her video off, but her sound is still on, and I don't think she knows that. So I was just sending her a text to be like, "Hey, your sound is on." Y'all, like if you're on a Zoom call, be prepared to let your friends know about what's going on. There was one time we were on a Zoom call, and it was a bunch of top Young Living leaders, okay? And it was a training. And there was a woman who took the Zoom into her bathroom, and, well, let's just say she got in the tub and didn't realize her video was on. Yeah. Yeah. And so all of her friends were texting her going, oh my God, turn your video off. You are on camera, honey, on camera. So anytime I see somebody, I'm like, just like, I need to send a quick text, like just let them know, like just to make sure you know your audio is still on. So
sorry, I laid my headphones down while I was going to refill my water.
Okay. Just making sure, because you never know. People will just take their phones right off into the bathroom, and it's like, do you realize your audio is on? Hello. We didn't need to know you that well.
I was in the middle of a live, and one of my members stopped over, and I had hit end, not knowing that I had to hit end again. And for like 25 minutes, we're chatting over in the kitchen, and I have all these texts coming through. Like, it was the people that had been at my house knew it was facing my bedroom door. And they're just like wondering if my husband is going to come out close, like they're just freaking out for me. It was just kind of funny. But I mean, I was the only one home, and thankfully we were, having a nice conversation, but it almost happened to me, I would say.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's always nerve-wracking when you forget you're on video or audio. But anyways, side note, I just want to make sure she knew. But that's really funny because Danielle says she's actually in the bath right now. So she's good. At least she's paying attention. So anyways, that's all I had to share just about, the retreats and how Young Living will so pamper you on those. It's definitely a goal to reach for. And it doesn't matter how long it takes you. Like I said, it took me 1 to 2 years after I first hit silver to qualify for the retreat, but it was so worth it when I finally went. It just nourished my soul. It meant so much to me. And I just absolutely loved that. And it made me feel like, it made, stand a little straighter, a little taller, like telling people like, yes, I earned a free trip to Utah for the weekend. So I will be away. And, it was just really cool to get to say that you earned something like that. So it can really mean a lot to you when you do that. So if that's your goal, if you're approaching silver, make it your goal. And this is a really great time to do it right now in summer and going into fall and winter. This is a really great time to make a big push and just run for it, especially with Dream 1000 happening right now. Who knows? Maybe you'll qualify for both of those. But if you want in the full-time RVer group, I'll definitely be sharing that link, or you can connect with me, Carmen Boley. I'm in the Facebook group, so if you see me, you can just shoot me a private message if you can't find the link or something. So if anybody else has any other favorite things, I don't think so, but if you want to pop on real quick and share something about retreat experience or some way that you travel with Young Living, something other. I'm definitely one of those people who thinks I want a houseboat. And one of these days, I don't know how easy it is to travel with that. I've done no research, but I really like the idea. So who knows, maybe you'll see me going along in my little thing with my houseboat behind me, going from place to place and building. Kim, do you have something to share?
Sorry, I muted that to stop the echo. So Kim, if you are going to share, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yep. So, and don't forget the retreat we have going on. It doesn't look like Amanda's going to be able to join us, but if you guys want the details, absolutely let us know. We're going to be doing yoga. We're going to have a hike. We have that indoor pool. It's not going to be one of these like go. It's not going to be a conference. This is a retreat. We're going to chillax in the mountains and just connect and grow as women and have a really fun, relaxing time. So if you want the details on that, just let us know. It's going to be amazing. There's even an indoor sauna. So we're going to be doing yoga. We have a yoga instructor on our team. A houseboat, Donna. Yes, Donna. I love that. Okay, one day you and I, and then your husband, will have side-by-side houseboats trucking down some little river or something like that. I'm in. Let's see. not associated with Young Living, but we houseboat most summers for a week. That's so cool. Marie, send me details. I want pictures. Yes, I love it. Okay, so totally lost my train of thought. Sorry, guys. I'm a blue-green, so you never know what I'm going to do. My train of thought is like this long. So anyways, thank you guys so much for joining us. I hope this inspired you and helped to cast a vision for one of your Young Living travels. And maybe you'll have some cool ideas to share with us after this. But
okay, I'm going to unmute everybody so that if anybody has any questions or anything to say, you can go ahead and do that. So I think everybody should be unmuted.
Okay, everybody, you're unmuted right now. So if you were having a very private conversation, just know it's not anymore.
So I can apparently only unmute the people that I muted on my side.
Oh, that's good to know. So if somebody muted themselves.
Yeah, a lot of people stayed muted even though I clicked unmute all. So, all right, well, if that's it, we're going to go ahead and stop the recording.
There we go.